What's up, Rockstars? Today I have the pleasure of unboxing Sheol. This is a fantastic look at a very indie game and what they are capable of producing and actually delivering to everybody in this great wide world. There will be a summary at the end of this video where I kind of collected my thoughts on what I thought about Sheol. Thank you to my channel sponsor Into the AM. As a company that believes hard work and a great product is a proper way to conduct business, I am delighted to have them as part of the channel. They have some of the coolest graphic t-shirts around and an absolute best fit and feel that has continually exceeded my expectations. With new shirts arriving all the time and other products like boxers, hats, and even a monthly shirt club, I wholeheartedly recommend them to you. Check out the link in my description of this video for an exclusive 10% off everything they sell. Alright, let's go ahead and jump into this. As always, a huge shout out to my patrons and YouTube members. It is through their financial support that this channel is possible. If you appreciate the videos I make just like this for you guys, and you can give even $1 a month, I'd be greatly appreciative. There is a link down in the description below. Thank you so much. Let's actually see. Now, I guess, disclaimer here, obviously, this is not how you guys will get it. This is not directly from, you know, the distribution hub or anything like that. So this is just them sending it here. So I can take a look at it, show it off, and hopefully give you guys some updates on my thoughts on it. I did do a review. I'll link down to that in the description below as well. However, I know they've changed a few things since then, most notably the combat. And so I'll be interested to see kind of where I'm at with it, because I have also, I guess, I don't want to say grown a lot. Maybe that's the incorrect term. But I have definitely progressed in what I will play, because my group has. So, you know, if you don't play with your group, then it doesn't really matter. And for a long time there, my main group, my family, is very much into combat games. And so that's kind of what they would do. But my son at this point will play literally anything with me. So that's not like a requirement for me to get something to the table. Now, just kind of nice. It looks like it's a box within a box here. I am probably going to, let's actually just see that. Maybe let's open this up then. So let's the reboxed this box. All right. And there it is, guys. So exciting. Whew. Thought I lost my pointy thing. Alright, let's take a look here. So we got the Luminary Monks here. One of the boxes here. This is kind of nice that this is just like a box for the boxes. That's super cool. I dig that. Very thematic, very nice. Alright, and then we got, this is that one. I'm not going to try and say that. Tz'mitah. I said it anyway, or tried to. The Engineer's Caste. Take a look at all these. Of course, the Exiled. Now this is interesting. It's brighter than I thought it'd be. This is cool. This is Land of the Night miniatures in here. Okay, got that box. And then Sheol proper now down here. I might have to tip this over to get it out. Let's actually put it to its side. Throw stuff around. That's what I'm going to do. Cat hair everywhere. All right, let's take a look, if we can. Oh, might have to actually, like, tip it upside down. Ooh. Gonna come out? No. There we go. That's how we do it. All right. Whew. Okay. So, oh, this is heavy, guys. Oh, dear Lord, this is heavy. Okay. Yeah, this is... Whoa. Okay, so automatically, I can tell you that I still love this freaking art. I love the city in the background. I love the freaking Tron lighting. I love the bad guys coming in around the corner, but these guys still being kind of the center there. The Sheol looks great there. The coloration is very... It's impressive for how few colors there are, if that makes sense. Got the Luminary Monks studio there, and otherwise, that is it. Just the name, and then that. And then on the sides, you get, you know, the other kind of stuff. On the back side here, that's how slow we'll open it. We actually have quite a bit here. Okay, we got Another picture of kind of the city here. And here we got the standee version here, right? And then the miniatures. These are renders here, and then it's art. And then it looks like probably a render of the game itself as well, especially with that bag. It looks like it probably is. You got the typical kind of, hey, don't sue us stuff. Box components listed here, some more information, a tiny little bit here, and then some more here. And then just kind of a synopsis. You're going to join the scouts, build the citadel, fight the shadow, and live your story. I dig that. I like this kind of quick bullet point almost look at, hey, is this game for you? What do I typically do in this game? Oh, I'm going to be a scout when I'm going to build a citadel and fight shadows and junk. That all sounds cool. I'm trying to be really gentle here. Gentle with a knife. You know how I be. Alright, I think we're probably good there. Alright. Da 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 da. Whoop. Sounded weird. Alright. Guys, this is such a heavy box. Like, this is dense. Okay. It's like it's filled 100% with cards is what it feels like. You know how heavy cards are when you get a whole bunch like that. Oh my dear lord. Okay. Completely flush box, so I actually had to lift it there to get it out. Linen finish, by the way. I appreciate that. Looks nice. Okay. Got a little bit of a box part there. We got ring bound. That's nice as well. We got some silica packets. Guys, don't ever throw these away. Keep these in all of your boxes. It'll help keep any mildew out. Now, I live up north in Idaho, and so there's not a whole lot of humidity where I'm at. But I know, I was born in Mississippi. I know how it is down south. You got a really humid environment. Go ahead and stick a couple of silica packs in here. Anytime you buy new shoes, just consider it a gift. You can now put them in your board game boxes. I just keep them in there. Cost me nothing. Black, again, love it. The glue on here, by the way, seems very, very tight. There's not really a lift up that I am seeing. Tiny bit of a gap there, but otherwise pretty good. Sufficient thickness. It's not the thickest. It's not the thinnest I've had. Corners seem good. The wrap is tight. Looks fairly centered. If you're looking like, like where it cuts off here, right? It's like right kind of in line here. So it looks like it's very nicely glued. Ooh, alignment wise, I think that's really good. All right, now it looks like we got a mission manual, and this is wrapped. And then we have a rule book that is unwrapped. Kind of interesting that one is and one isn't. Let's go and take a look at the rule book before the mission book here. It is fatter than I like. Typically, and the reason I say is because it takes up a lot of space when you fold it out. I typically like the skinnier ones, right? They're a little bit taller. That tends to, when you open it up, it doesn't double as much. I mean, I get the surface area is the same. They tend to get really big when they're wide like this, right? But spiral bound, I can do that. So I forgive most anything at that point. It's very nice to have the spiral bound there. As long as it works, you don't want one of those cheap ones that like catches all the time. All right, so we got some important stuff right here. This is a S.H.E.O.L rulebook. If you're playing for the first time, you can read up to page 3, then use the following pages to check the components if you wish. Alternatively, you can jump straight to the section preparing the game on page 13. This book is written as if you were playing a campaign with 4 scouts, but some rules are different for lower player counts. These rules are marked with this symbol, and these I really like. As a warning, some parts of the story S.H.E.O.L deal with topics and material suitable only for adults, such as desperation, death, violence, and nudity. The story also contains strong language, descriptions, and images of monsters that some may find frightening, and content that may offend. It is therefore aimed solely at individuals aged 16 and older. Sweet, count me in. This is nice. I like that it warns this. That's important. I very much appreciate that. And I like that before, it's like a primer. It's like, hey, before you go into this, be on the lookout for this symbol here. Just know this. It kind of guides you into the book. I really actually like that. That's super nice. I dig that. I always think it's funny when it's listed page 2 on the first one. Like, this is a page. I get why they do it. It's just, to me, it's silly. I like to think of odd, even, but you know, whatever. Okay. So we got a table of contents, not an index, just a table of contents. So it's by the header. There is some use of color here. It's very subtle color, but it is there, plus some boldness, and of course a font change here. We got big old subheaders here, and then big headers here, and then it looks like a kind of a common grouping here. Like this is the intro part of it. So that's really nice. We got bullet point lists. I dig that. Starting things out, a little bit of a story. That's fluff. Sometimes it's kind of nice to read that. Sometimes I don't care. It just depends. I never read it at the beginning. I will skip and start right here when reading the rule book. I'll probably read this, skip this, read this. This is going to go at the beginning of the mission manual. The main goal, I like this. Like set a, hey, here's what you're trying to do. And that colors and paints and everything. And then it breaks in campaigns. We'll see how all that works. And when I do a full review, I'll let you guys know. In the back here, they've passed my test. It's almost like they're paying attention. Oh, okay, perfect. Okay, so on the back, this is how you're going to keep it on the table, right? Here's your list of icons, and it says what each little icon is. That's a freaking sweet... Do you guys, look at that dude there. He is not having a good day. I dig that. That looks freaking sweet. That's awesome. I dig that. I love the glow around everything. Do you see that little soft glow? Here, maybe I'll zoom in again. Do you see the little bit of glow they put around all the lines? Really appreciate that. They didn't do it here. That's okay. I'm fine with that. This is more of a stylized thing. But all this text and stuff here, right? It all has a little bit of a glow around it, which I actually really appreciate. This is cool too. The development points. Notice it gets developed over time. It gets more and more solid. That's really cool to see. I really dig that too. Little things like that are pretty cool. I'm glad they defined this though, because like this, I could tell flying. Okay, yeah, sure, winks. But then you have stuff like, you know, let me zoom in a little bit more just as like a default for you guys. There you go, while we're looking at the rule book. Attack damage, sure, I can get that. But then a circle parry, maybe. Build action, yeah, I can get that. But then you have like, this is Lux regain. That I think that's pretty simple. Starting Lux vials, like some of these, okay, like this. I would not have a servo droid. I wouldn't have guessed it's a servo droid or whatever. Like sometimes it can be pretty intuitive with what things are, other times not so much, and that's just kind of some of it's IP stuff like a lurker versus a devourer and stuff like that, and some of it's just because it's harder to do. But as you saw, they do have an index. Let's see if it's a proper index, though I believe it is. So an index, everything you need in the face to lands the night. I dig all that. It is an alphabetical. It does have actually subheaders. I can appreciate that. I'm undecided on this. I do like it is mentioning multiple pages. That is exactly what I want. So one of the things that make a index so nice is it is alphabetical. So if I'm looking for a herald, right, I will be looking over for the H's, and it's right here, 26. It's also here. Bam! Look at that. It's like they thought of everything. I was about to say, because I'll look for there probably first. Right, let's see. That's a servo droid. Is that there? Servo droid. Yep, right there too. Okay, perfect. So they have it to where if you're looking for armor, right, or if you're looking for the citadel or a critical hit, it's all kind of right there, which is nice. Development or the various die. But then let's see, is alert up here? I don't think alert is up here. So if you're looking for alert, you actually have to look under die, D, and then alert. So that's kind of the I mean, pros and cons, right? I do like grouping things. I think that can be kind of helpful. At the same time, if I want to look up an accessory, I'll be looking under A's. I won't be looking under equipment card accessories, if that makes sense. So I would have probably flattened this list a little bit. As nice as this is, as cool as that is, it hurts the alphabetical order portion of it of quickly looking it up, if that makes sense. So anyway, yeah, this is nice. These are fairly thin, if that makes sense, but they feel very robust. This is a lot of text. This is this is a lot. Let's see, they're using different call outs here and stuff like that, which is nice. Or a different like a numbered system and stuff. I'm assuming that's listed the C5 and C7 somewhere here, though I don't necessarily see where it lists that. That's good. Like, where's C2? Is that a thing? C1? I don't see C1 listed anywhere. I mean, that's Citadel 1, right? But I don't see it in the text. So I'm not sure what that is. I may not be... Like, see, this makes sense. A, is, you know, somewhere. B is right here, C, D, right? And that lists directly to this. I don't see the same for these, so I think these may be different. All right. But let's see. We got some examples. This is a call-out box here, which is kind of nice. I dig that. There's not a whole lot of call-out boxes from what I can see, but yeah, it's certainly... Oh, man, there's a lot, actually. This is quite a bit. I don't recall being this involved. All right. That's the rulebook. You guys are like, dude, shut up about the rulebook. Let's move on to the mission manual. We're going to take a small peek at this. I don't want to spoil any missions. Oh, dear Lord, I can't get my knife now. All right. And I think what we're going to do is probably just right here. Wow, I need a new blade. Did you see that? That's dangerous. A dull blade is much more dangerous than a thin or an actual like sharp blade, because the dull blade is the one you know, push on and then it finally gives away and stuff like that, which you don't want. You want a smooth cutting action. Luckily, I can change it. Negative 18C. About that. Bring a coat. That's what I would say. Bring a coat. Okay. Anything on the back? No. Okay. Front. Does it tell you, are there more rules in here? That's kind of the key here. Okay, so they got the same kind of thing here. It's weird. This is... See, it's stuff like this that I noticed right away. It's a bigger font. I think that's the biggest difference there. These are the same size, right? Yeah. Yep. Same size page. Should have made it the same size font. Why is that one bigger? I like it. I like that it's bigger, actually. I like this version more. Actually, the font in general just seems bigger in here. Okay, so we got prologue. We got campaigns part 1, an interlude, and part 2, part 3, and then a Luminaries campaign, Exiles, Engineers campaign. These are all of these. Looks like are found in here. Save the game and Founders of the Citadel, whatever that is. We got color. Ooh, look at this. Okay, so a whole bunch of like prologue information stuff. A little the weeping, the loss, the beginning of the darkness. A little bit about your characters. This is cool. Talks about the different expansions. Different factions, tools for survival. This is a whole lot, dude. If you guys want some story, here I love the art involved here. Main campaign and list. This is, I want a poster. What you guys should have offered a poster on. That would have been freaking sweet. Okay. Remember that you follow the campaigns in the correct order. That's fine. And then lurking shadows. Okay, so again we got a whole lot of fluff here. We got it looks like a watch face or something. Lands, components, enemies. So it kind of lists all that. It does have the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then A through whatever. So that's kind of nice. Special rules, notes. This is still mission 1. This is all mission 1 here. So the mission 1 conclusion here. Okay, there's that going on there. And then rewards, 4 development points. I remember that. And then some other stuff there. And then it goes to mission 2. Okay, so this is first level of the Citadel. So that's all I'm going to look at there. There's probably some more in the back about saving a game I think I saw, but that is real nice looking. All right, we got some padding here. I'll keep this for now just in case it helps flush it out, but hopefully I don't need that. And we got a whole bunch of cardboard here. All right, let's take a look. We got some double-sided goodness here. Or double thick goodness. It's getting weirder and weirder, so I'm gonna stop talking like that. But you know, it's really nice to see the dual layer boards, right? It's always a pleasure. Pretty much never a bad thing. We've never like had a dual layer board. I'm like, man, I wish this was single layer. It's just not something you say. All right. Oh my goodness, this is unwrapped weird. From 2 different pieces. Okay. So we got these, and already, like. That sounds good. Bit of a rough edge. Not the smoothest in. I'm not going to get like too bad here. And it looks like it is where they press down there. It is a little bent on the sides there. This seems fairly centered. That's not always the case. So that looks nice. I dig that. This all looks good. Looks good pretty much from any angle. It might be slightly higher here, I'm thinking. Just looking at this, it looks like there's more space on the bottom than the top, and I'm seeing a tiny bit of black on the corners here of these. So I think it might be slightly, yeah, see, it looks like there's more space under the one than above the one. Very, very close, though. I've seen much worse than that. That's actually pretty darn good. And then on the back here, you got this. That's if you like become like corrupted or whatever, if I remember correct. It's been a hot minute since I've played. Been a while. You get 4 of those. It looks like they are probably bent, I would say. At least some of them are, because that is definitely some stuff there. So we want to probably flatten those out, put them under something heavy, maybe something like that. It shouldn't matter too much when it's just sitting here. Oh, it's this one. This one's a little bent, and maybe you can. It looks like you can bend it back. They're actually fairly bendable. Pros and cons to that. I can fix it, which is nice. Yeah, it's already almost better. It'll probably flatten pretty good. But at the same time, it's not the sturdiest stuff ever, right? All right, same here. This looks all nice here. This actually looks much more centered. A little bit to the left, because I can actually see all white here. That actually touches the end there. But again, very close to centered. Like, this looks quite nice. I'm happy with this. Like I said, I've seen far worse. It is something I always try to look at. In the back, you have the servo droids. Oh, look, they're different faces. Okay, and again, fairly bendy, right? Definitely not the highest when it comes to thickness and stuff like that. Okay, so you're gonna have to punch a lot of these out. Whoop, and it's come right out apparently. Let's see, tags are very minimal. That's nice. It's actually not too bad here. Okay. Yeah, it looks like they actually come out pretty darn nice. Pop it from the other way. Whoop! I'm just flying. See, squishiness wise, they're fairly squishy. Yeah, like I said, these are not the absolute highest quality when it comes to that. You can get them a little bit the denser, right? And it almost just seems, I wouldn't say wet, but it's not quite as compressed, if that makes sense. That's why you get that little bit of a squish there, if that makes sense. You can see the lines. It's not terrible though, but like that one's pretty big there, right? And it looks like you can kind of get stuff stuck in there. So let's have a clean working or playing area when you do. But yeah, I mean they seem fine. They seem fine. I do like the color on them. They are front and back, and that's because you can like get them like corrupted or whatever, right? As like guys pass them, and so they kind of attack these light rounds, and this is kind of how you go around the map. But yeah, no, seems pretty good. They do have these standees here. A little bit harder to get out, though I am being careful as well. Okay, front and back. Let's see. There's a little bit. You see, like right here, there's a tiny bit of a lip there. Right there, right where it just didn't quite get pressed down enough, and I'm wondering if that can happen over time. Normally on this, the back end is because the thing presses down, right, and so there's a little bit of a curve on this end, but this end is completely flat. Okay, see right there. So you want to be careful with these for sure when you're doing that, especially probably on the corners there. They will kind of peel away, so just keep mindful of that. I actually like that they are black surrounded. I think it'll fit with the rest of the map quite well, but then you also are able to then get that glow, right, which is kind of nice visually speaking when it comes to these. But I should have some minis. I'm not too concerned about those. See, anything else that stands out that I should punch out? Let's see, there's a ton. Oh yeah, the Citadel. A ton of stuff here, guys. Like, there's a whole lot. Okay, so this is these kind of skinny parts, right? They're always kind of the question. I always try to be kind of careful punching these out. Oh my gosh, I want to get... Whoop, there we go, okay. And again, you probably won't normally be that careful, but I'm trying to be pretty careful here when it comes to taking that out. There we go. Okay, so front and back, go on just like this. Oh, it fits beautifully. A lot of times, like in the Street Fighter one, you had to really push, right? It was like a really tight fit on some of the train. This works just fine. Looks like it gets fairly level there. Just a little bit of a wobble. That can happen because this isn't quite flush all the time. But overall, this looks quite good. I like it. Again, it would have been nice to have this black if they could have at all, just because it stands out. I would actually, if you're here and you're using this, just get like a Sharpie or whatever and paint that black. I think it'll make it look just that much slicker. Because like I said, that black will really show up. Okay, that went in like that. Yeah, you can push them back in pretty easily, actually. Kind of nice. Barely an inconvenience. There we go. Okay, anything else? Whole bunch of enemies here. I already kind of punched out the big one like on accident. These are like the bosses and stuff like that that you're gonna be doing. Okay, these are... Okay, it's just a straight square. It's not anything super fancy. This is different parts of the Citadel that you can essentially unlock, which is cool. They all have different things here. A lot to go through there. A lot more enemies there. Okay, here's actually the characters. At least the main ones that I know. There's the 3 for sure. A little bit of, I think, terrain stuff for on the map. Okay, this is a big one. Let's go and take a look at this. There we go. Come on out. Come on out. Okay, this is cure the scouts, purchase new equipment. So this will be used in 2 different phases here. And these are like the bad guys and things escalate here. You don't want that to happen. And they have the different stuff here. Target can be discarded light shields to reduce damage, and then some cards that you slot in there, essentially. Or not cards, but like tiles. Okay, Lurker, that's definitely a common one there. Got some more little stuff here. These are just circles. Some more, looks like terrain there is my assumption. And then finally we have the like main board where you put those tiles that you're researching. Like I said, you'll put them here. And this has a few different, you know, hey, you do 2 development to look at a card or whatever and grab it, you know, stuff like that. And this is first level, second level, third level. As you build up the Citadel, you get access to more things. It's kind of, I believe, how that works from memory. Don't sue me if I'm wrong. Oh man, this is gonna fall right out. Gosh dang it. It looks like, look at that. That like peeled right away too, right on there. Luckily, that's not on the tile itself, so that's good. I'll try. Oh, okay. Now, we got the game board. Now, I have too much stuff on my table, so I'm not going to kind of put this super flat. I will say, ooh, this actually feels really good, which is really nice. Like, this is a very sturdy board. I really appreciate that. So it does have a front and a back, so let's take a look. Again, I know it's not on a flat surface. So it has this part, which does not have the city. So this is like, let me zoom out a little bit again for you guys. This is like when you're out exploring away from the city, right? It looks like there's like some limiting here. I don't know if it's just limiting it to this part here and this is off limits, or I don't know how you read that per se. But then you also have, and the city's right here. The city's like way up here. But then you have this side where the city's like in the middle, so you're kind of near the city. Oh, that's right. These are the different lanes that essentially. So each time the enemies are trying to come in here and then come there, so you're trying to like defend all this different area here. They do have the alpha and omega symbols here. They do have the numbers and letters. And on the back side, I don't know if you noticed that or not, but it was red instead of blue. But yeah, this feels great. This is a really nice board. This cut here is really good. I don't see any kind of like, a strain around that at all. Glue job isn't necessarily the best. It's a little, thick, in some parts it's a little wavy from the glue, just slightly. Overall, I actually really liked it. Like this feels good. This is a good board. That's nice. All right, then we have the main thing here. We do have some thumb things there. That's appreciated. And again, more black. Very appreciated. It does have a nice little Sheol symbol there. No lock on the lid, but it seems pretty snug. This seems quite thick. And yes, there's more underneath as well. But I gotta take a look at this. Oh, this feels so nice compared to the ones I got from Massive Darkness. Not as high quality, I think, as the first Massive Darkness one. That one, again, like with the stitching on it and stuff. Oh, it's great. This is really good though. Like it feels good on here. This almost feels like a iron-on And I'm wondering if it is. I wonder if it would start peeling or something like that. But you're not wearing it like you would a shirt anyway, and it looks great. Especially love because see, like because all of this is essentially part of it, right? It's just clear, and so you just see the white underneath it. So it sells this effect really, really well. One thing I can say right now is I love how big it is, so I can actually stick my hand in it. None of those like small ones, if that makes sense. The ties seem good. Scrunches up nice. It feels great. Like, it feels really nice. I really dig this. And again, love the size of it. It looks like you get both a white and a black one. And they even alternate the drawstring. I like that. That's cool. Yeah, those are cool. And they even have a place. A lot of times they just shove them on the top or something like that. But no, they got a place there. Okay, we got different colored gems. Ooh, purple ones. That's exciting. Maybe I'll look at the purple. Oh, no, these blue ones, though, do look good. So do the red. They are not in... there's a lot of extra space here, and I'm wondering if this can include some of the expansions or not. I'm wondering if that's the idea or what. Come on, get off me. I'll tell you right now, these look great. But yeah, they're not in like a resealable bag or anything like that, like a Ziploc style bag, right? Okay. But oh man, these look at that blue, guys. That is pretty. Oh man, these look great. So taking a look here, quite see-through, which is nice. I do appreciate that. Not very scuffed either. A lot of times you get a whole bunch of scuff marks. There's a little bit, like there's one right there. If you can see that or not, tiny little one right there. That's pretty common actually throughout all of it. And then you do get this little bit right here where it came off the sprue, because they make these just like anything else with plastic through injection. And then they break them off there. And then normally it looks like what they did here is they tumbled it a whole bunch afterwards, which really kind of nulls that down. That's very small. That's actually really good. A lot of times it's really white and very noticeable. Like this one's probably a little bit more noticeable there. See how white that is? That's what you try to avoid is that little tiny white bit there. But overall, I mean, these look great, I think. Those are very nice. Purple don't seem as see-through. Though I think the blue are just stand out in that sense. But these are like a deep purple, huh? All right. Yeah, I dig this. That looks great. Looks cool. All right, we got the standee holders there. I'm not going to worry about those for now. We got these little marker discs. This isn't a resealable bag here. Just take one out, please. Okay, it is plastic. You can see the seam right in between the two of them. Very smooth. There's a little bit where it was again snapped off. Let's see. It doesn't look like it's too scuffed. It's slightly. Like I said, they normally are to some degree or another. Very shiny. It feels solid. It doesn't feel like hollow or anything. I'm not bending the plastic when I squeeze, which is nice. Okay, we got some cool dice. We got some of these, and oh, I love these people so much. Okay, these are the soft silicone rubbery kind of ones, and I love these. First of all, the color is great, but do you see that? That's not going to ruin your mini, because normally, and I'm going to take a mini now out. We'll look at the minis. Oh, they may have just lost a point. Well, anyway, and then when it's a hard back, right? You just scrape. And when you do that, any paint you put on here, you're just slowly scraping it off. But these soft ones, because they're softer, they're so much more gentle on there. So I really do like that. I appreciate that a lot. As somebody who likes to paint, and as somebody who is very tempted to paint this, because it's such a simplified color scheme, and I think you could get some really cool glow effects, and it'd be really, really cool. And it's not like super miniature heavy either, which is kind of nice actually. It means it's realistic. These are really nice. Look at the dice here. Again, resealable bag for the dice. And, I mean, they look great. I can tell you that much. Okay. Let's look at this blue one here. Look at this. It even has a little bit of white there. That's kind of cool. I dig that. It's not every day you get 3 colors on there. It is a dark red, which I adore. It looks like a blood red. It's so good. Like apple red is like my favorite kind of red. So I do like the darker reds. One thing I will say, though, is that on black, it can be kind of hard to read. Now, you're seeing that just fine, but I have a ton of light putting here. If you're in a dimly lit game room and you're doing this, this is quite big, which is nice. There's not a whole lot there, but it still might be a thing where, maybe you need to pick it up or really look at or something like that. It can be an issue. I'm not saying it is. Okay, this one, again, 3 different colors, white, red, and black. I dig that they're doing that. We've got a blank side here. These are hard-edged. They're not perfectly like casino hard-edged, but they are hard-edged. I appreciate this more. I like these kind of dice. They don't roll as much as the Chiswick ones that have like the big angle on the sides here, but these are typically more accurate. And when it comes to the randomness, it's why casinos use perfectly straight edged ones like that for that very reason. When you're angling it a whole lot like that, first of all, you do get a whole lot of roll, but that's not going to be exact on all the corners there. It's just pretty much impossible. Whereas you can do hard lines fairly exact. And these aren't perfectly hard, right? Which means they will do a little bit of rolling, but they tend to randomize there and then more plop down, maybe roll once. And I like those more. It just makes me feel like the dice aren't quite as bad. I'm not doing any salt trick in water to see how equal these are, because they are putting a lot of like custom stuff on here, and you know, how accurate is that? How much are you getting rid of one side versus the other? And you know, just various things like that. These symbols though, I like how they even separate them with this little line here. That's kind of cool. I do dig that. Yeah, this looks cool. Looks nice. All the symbols are very different. Like a wide variety of symbols. And different sizes too, right? Like that's small, that's big. Kind of interesting. And I think it's because you're using these dice for multiple things. Alright, so I think that's it. I do want to end on the miniature, so we're going to move this over and take a look at cards real quick, but then we'll do minis, okay? Don't worry, we'll get to them. Then we'll do the big miniature thing at the end. We'll do the expansions, I think, first, because we can just kind of zip through those. Okay, so we got the bigger cards and smaller cards. I'll do bigger cards first. I'm not going to go through every card. I don't see the appeal of that. You guys should know. I mean, you guys can go on the Kickstarter and see every single thing, or take a look at the rule book. Or I mean, there's a picture tells you what's in something more than a video does. The video is there for commentary and to see how everything's kind of packed and see somebody interact with it. Okay, linen finish on the cards. The reason I got the big ones first is because of the skinniness, right? So to determine how thick they are, the worst offender will be the one with the biggest area, right, that I can bend. They are quite bendy, but they seem to snap back really, really well, which is really nice. This is me like holding it from a single point, right? Yeah, it seems actually quite robust there. So that's nice. Now, if we go and take this, flip it over here, this should show us if there is any bending. There is a little bit. You can see that right there. So this is curved this way and that's curved that way now. There's a little bit there. Not too bad though. And I think they probably... I'll make sure I do that. See, now I've probably all kinds of jacked it up now. Oh man, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, whatever. We'll leave it there, and I'm sure that's wrong. I'll have to figure it out later. Either way, no, these are nice though. They're very. Some linen finish can actually be really reflective, but I have some heavy light pointing at it right now, and it's not reflecting that at all. Quite happy with that. Won't be dealing with sleeves though. There's definitely not enough room here, right? Sleeves would add height, and there's a little bit of wiggle room, so you'd probably have a tiny bit of. As long as they were tight sleeves, that'd be okay. But again, it'd be like this high of a stack, right? So not enough space for that. Let's look at some small ones. Let's look at some weapons here. Oh man, look at the art on here. That looks so freaking good. So good. I love it. The art style here is just cool. The game is just cool. And unique. That's what I really appreciate about it. I love that it's unique like that. I really do. Okay. Alright, so we got the floating engine, the luminary hammer. This is like the area of effect that it has, right? You can kind of do some are spouting out like that, like the Veil Walker. Some are like angled to one side or another, like if it's a shoulder mounted thing. Some are ranged only, like the Serenity launcher. You have an alpha torch. What they're doing is they're pretty much making light, right? So you're seeing what you light up, which is super cool. The Path Maker, oh, that's a cool one. I like that. And so as you can see, each one will be kind of different. And then you have the holographic decoy, a safe capsule, all these different items. Each piece looks like it's a unique art piece. So I'm sure they spent a lot of time on that. Maybe that's an arrow levitator. Wasn't there a vehicle here? I guess there was a few. Just trying to see. I don't think any of this is repeated. No, the freaking sweet motorcycle. Nope. So far. And then it looks like we have some different things here, perhaps. Woo! All right. Love the art. These are some of the characters again. Just cool stuff. All right, and then we do have some mission stuff here. I don't think I'm gonna try and spoil any of that, but it looks like it's just text and stuff there. Let's see, we've got some various cards and all that. Here's some more mission stuff. So, yeah, anyway, it looks like we do have spaces here for like trays and stuff like that. I bet these they do go in there. Look at that. Look at that. So it looks like, and then a lot of your tokens will go in here. So that's cool. But there's more there. Yeah, definitely some more cards or whatever go there, which is very nice. Very efficient. I don't think there's really anything in any of these. They do have the little finger holes, which is very nice. I do greatly appreciate that. It goes all the way down too, which is nice. And the spaces really everywhere else. Yeah, that's nice. I dig that. Let's put this back on. It's very flush there. And take a look at the minis. So we'll say right away, I don't like the snap in. Do you see how I can lift the whole tray like that? For the exact same reason that I'm glad these are silicone. In that that'll rub away at any paint you put like nobody's business. So that's what that is. It's essentially, it's gripping these. So if we take this one out, you see there's a little bit of a lip right here. Let me try and zoom in, maybe even a little bit more for you. So right here, there's a little bit of a lip. Now what you can do is you can get a hairdryer or anything hot, right, and kind of push that back and morph it again. You can cut out the little bit there. There's a few things you can do to adjust that, but that's kind of the idea is you bend that back out, and it's not. In other words, there's a little thing that goes in like this, so you have to like move it out, and that rubbing will chip out any paint you have there. All right, so let's take a look here. Well, one thing I'll say right away, zoom in a little bit more for you, is the detail level is very nice. I love the sculpted base. This is nice and straight. It is connected here, which is nice. There's a little bit of a mold line right here going up. This is true scale in that their hands are very small. However, and this is kind of interesting just because he has so many hands, this hand is clearly bigger than these hands. Like this hand is quite small, and I get it's curled up, but this hand is still, I think, bigger, which is kind of interesting. Quite flat on the plane there, so it's you know, a little bit cheaper to do that way, which is kind of nice for them. Let's see, it looks like this might be bent slightly in the back, but just a little bit. I love how detailed, like this will take a wash really well. This is very deep wrinkles and stuff here, which is nice. It's interesting that he has these different robotic hands that are like coming out of his like armpit there kind of thing. His turban looks great. His mask looks good. Lots of little details here. I'm not seeing any obvious like bad part. There is a mold line that goes right over the hand there. Again, the size of the hand difference is probably the biggest thing I noticed there. This hand seems a bit bigger. And it's kind of odd that it's in front. Like I don't know what that hand's necessarily trying to do. I think I would have rather it have been gripping the same with this one than be out in front, just hand open like that. Seems a bit odd. I think he's looking to the side. I appreciate that. And the thickness of the cape isn't too bad either. So that's good too. And then this thing kind of crawling up is creepy, and I don't like it. All right, let's take a look at the next one. So it's a character I played a lot of. Big old light thing here, which is really cool. Very much a diver's helmet kind of thing, right? It reminded me of like a Big Daddy. Love the patch on the cape. And I think they came out really good. These wires came out really nice. So that was something I was kind of concerned about. Just because they had so many of these skinny wires going around. And I had resin pieces that were able to do that. But otherwise, you kind of don't, right? This, however, is like a really good plastic. It's a ABS PVC mix, if I were to guess. And so it's holding this quite well. One of the reasons is because you see how shiny like his cape is right now? And that shininess isn't a release agent you're seeing. That's actually the plastic. You can have very dull plastic, which is most PVC. Not all, but most. There's a variety of things. But ABS is always shiny. And a lot of times when you inject a little bit of ABS in there, you can do a mix to just make things a little bit, it's a little bit harder, a little bit more rigid. And it adds a little bit of shine too. This is not, like this is bent in, which is kind of odd. I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if that's an assembly. I think it might be, because this whole arm is separate. So I think it's this arm, and then it goes to this, and this is separate. And then when they glued it in, it just wasn't quite straight. So they hide the arm assembly quite well. Same with this arm here. I think that was good. And then the tube just, it connects right there. Very good assembly though, in general. Like I get that's a little bit like that, but really, this is really nicely done. Really nicely designed. So it looks good there too. All the detail in here looks good. I like that he's walking. I like that he's kind of looking around. He's looking at where he's shining his light at, but then he's got his little light pew pew gun thing here. I like that that's attached there. Again, these tubes are super cool. This boot design is really neat too. And again, everybody looks cooler with a cape, so I dig that as well. That's a cool character. I like that one. This is the one my son played, and he was really cool. He was like zipping around doing stuff. He's got like these mechanical legs going on here, and again, this big old piece here. And yep, you can tell actually this is actually ABS. Like this whole thing is ABS. And the way I can tell is you see these like little bits here where the runners were, right, where the little plastic injection goes. That's very common to see those tags there on the ABS. I like the small, like kind of back cape thing with like the little shawl around it. I love the jewelry here. The mask is super cool. That looks great. Little tiny details on here are maybe a little muddy, and there is a little bit of, I don't know if it's damage or what. Do you see that though? It looks like a little bit of damage there. Actually, from the mold, perhaps. I wonder if everybody's is like that. Like there's even this little hangy bit here. So yeah, something happened right there. I don't know what. This is maybe slightly curved. Definitely not strictly ABS. And it's some kind of mix, I think, still of some kind, just because it's still super bendy. And ABS does not. It would like twing. It doesn't even feel quite like it. I love how forward they are. I love how they go like right up to the base. So they're actually like going over the base. So I appreciate that. I think that's super cool. They are kind of like sculpted right into it. But I think it looks good. Like sometimes it blends in and bleeds in a little bit, but I think this looks great. And then yeah, a very minuscule base, but overall very cool character. I think she looks awesome. I really did that. They made this wire attached. I think that looks good. Though they did make it a lot skinnier too, which is kind of interesting. And again, small hands. That's that true scale at work there. Alright, next up we got this guy, and he's also reaching out. He looks cool. I dig it. So he's got like this mask thing going on here. This huge freaking backpack. Got a skull here, wearing the robe or whatever. I love the feet kind of being out there. The big boots are super cool. Another skull there. There's the gun there. Another skull there. All the skulls. It's got like this nasty freaking arm thing going on here. I don't know. Like you might want to get that looked at. I don't know what's going on there. Yeah, definitely a different feel. And notice how much bigger this hand is. And I think that's on purpose, right? There's something weird going on with that dude's hand. You'll have to read about him, I guess. Because yeah, there's something not right there. I can tell you that much. Alright, next, gosh, I hate that they're like stuck in here. I'm definitely have to fix that. Okay. This guy's super cool too. I think my wife played this guy. Big old gun. Great detail on all the armor. Again, looking right where he's shooting. I really dig that. I love the little bit of a lip here. The fact that it goes in a little bit just makes it so much easier to paint. The base here looks really cool. Like the little dead alien shadow thing. These tubes look good. It's nice that they combine them like that. I think that works. It does get a little smoother right here. There's still a line there, right? This follows it, but it's pretty smooth. So just be careful when you're painting that the shadow, I think, will, like if you put a wash in there, will look good here, but be a little too skinny there to do much. Backpack looks great. The inside of the gun looks good. This is a really nice gun, by the way. Guns often look really poor in my mind. I love all the different, little dots and lines and things coming out, and it just makes it visually interesting, which I really appreciate. The handle is filled, but it looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm okay. Assembly looks great, especially the little tube in the back of the head there. Assembly is just really nice in general. I think they did a good job. Same with right here. Right, there was a little bit of glue there. I think they did a good job on that one. One more, and we were done with the core box, guys. Oh, I love this. Is a lot of cardboard. Okay, this is a fun one. My daughter played this character, and I think she did a great job of it. This is like the sniper person. Super cool. I might still, just because I love playing snipers. Look at this, sculpt to the base, using the base to make it dynamic. I appreciate that a whole lot. When you're sculpting a base, when you're making a whole miniature, you can incorporate it and do cool stuff like this. You can't do that as often, like Games Workshop kind of stuff, because they want it to fit on a flat base. You can make this super dynamic here. Love the honeycomb hex kind of cape thing here. I think it looks great. It's not too thick, which I appreciate. It's actually a good middle ground there. Love that this is hollow here. Really appreciate that. Yeah, this backpack high up there looks really cool. The fact that this is separated looks really nice in my opinion. Maybe it gets a little thick there. I'd like to see that a little bit skinnier than that. But yeah, no, this looks really, really cool. Just aiming right down the sights. Just ready to kind of shoot. I dig that one. That's a cool one. All right, guys, that is the core box. Let's dive into some of these small expansions, knock these out, and then we'll go from there. Let's zoom out a little bit. All right, let's start with the Exiled. So these are cheaper box. They're like the, if you've got like Conan expansions and stuff like that, they're like that kind of box. If that gives you an idea. It's more the kind of paper style. But, yeah, it looks like they're, oh, see, I don't like these, because the moment you open them, you ruin them, right? Just that bending right there. See, now they'll forever like that. And you get really bent, you try to push it in, and you're like trying to feed it. It can get kind of nasty. So I don't like these. Alright, still the black, not lock on. There's a little bit of a lip here, so we'll grip the outside. We do get some cardboard tokens with them. And yeah, let's go open this up. We got their card here. This is one of the S.H.E.O.L characters, I believe, or I guess expansion character, I should say. Very cool looking. I can tell you that much in the mall. So I'll put that there. A little bit of plastic there. We got some cards. Got all the cards that they, different items and stuff like that. And then we got these enemies and this character. And I guess this is for the tokens as well. And then the big enemy card can go here. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Zoom in on this thing. I really dig this. It kind of reminds me of like a Metroid kind of thing. Good like painting inside of there. That's going to be kind of difficult. Just shove black in there and pray for the best. Love the sculpted base. Love the netting thing here. Like I can feel the texture. They're like those are pokey. That's super cool looking. It's very netty like. And then of course these different tentacle things. I think having 1, 2, 3 tentacles all line up like that look a bit silly. I would have rather these been 2 instead of 3. I think 3 makes it just seem slightly silly. Because otherwise they're all going different ways. There's maybe a little bit of a group, but then they kind of flesh out. So I think it's the only time you see 3 grouped like that. But either way, these look super cool. Love that they're flowing out. Love that it overflows the base. I think they look neat. All right, then we have a new hero here. And by the way, like these seem to be fairly flat from what I can tell. I appreciate that. And then again, they inset it a little bit because of the sculpted bases here. He is attached right here to this rock thing, and then this is super flat on the back. I would have appreciated this to not be super flat, this to be not quite as thick, and then not to just like, it seems almost, it looks, you know what, I want to give it a pass. Like it's just barely closing there, but I think it's enough to where it looks like it ended there. I love that he's holding his blade and it's like coming out this way, or his light, I guess there's to say. The barnacles growing on everything are gross. Like a huge grossness. Same on here. Very, very interesting look there. These big things jutting out are interesting. And then, of course, the backpack still looking like a backpack. This back of this kind of little cloth here is probably my least favorite thing. Otherwise, this looks great. Even like down here, it looks really good. Really good texture. And again, these barnacle stuff are going to look really cool. All right, that's it for that expansion. Let's go for the next one. All right, next up we have the Engineer's Caste. I noticed I didn't show you the back before, so you can kind of see kind of how they show that. I think it looks great. I love the color on this one, right? Just seems different. They do that on a few different ones. Actually, each box is a slightly different color, a different glow, which again I can appreciate. All right, there's that. Open her up, ruin the box, and here we go. All right, so look, we got a little tiny cards here, which is kind of interesting. And yeah, nothing there. Okay, look at the robots first. These are like little tiny Metal Gears, is what these guys are. All right, call this one Rex. I love it. I think these are cool. Definitely leaning kind of back there. Kind of interesting that it's not like super level. It's kind of aiming up a little bit. It's kind of interesting. Again, the base I think looks great. These little tiny details actually are quite good, especially for the scale. Getting all these different lines in and everything like that. Yeah, overall, I mean, again, it's fine. There's not like a bunch of scuff marks or anything like that. These wires here look really good too. Those came out really nice. Get 2 of those. Get a new character. That's what this person is. Zoom in slightly more. They got the robot dog. I love this character because they got the robot dog. This is cool too. This little lantern thing she's got going on there. I dig it. Pointing. There is a separate finger, which I do appreciate. It's kind of bent out a little bit, but there we go. I think it's already better. So she does have a little finger there. Again, these tubes look great. These pants look awesome. I love the little like bagginess to them that they have. And then you have the wires, or these are like little suspender things here, I guess. Yeah, no, it looks really good though. Love the mask. Love that this is all separate, so it was all assembled. Love that that's different. The dog here is just amazing. A little bit of a mold line there. I love him. I love the robot dog. That's sweet. All right, and then we got these snap-ons, I swear. It makes me cry. Got a big baddie here. Look at this guy. Oh my good grief. So this is one thing that they'll do is the scale is actually much different than you might think. There's a person there. Right? So this is a shrunk down version. This is actually something hugely massive. One of the things that's always cool about these shadows is they're all coiled like this, but then they have these like odd like skeleton structures to them. Like here's a spine here, and you're like, okay, what's going on? Why is it a shadow? And it's all these like, you know, rolls of whatever, and then it has a spine, like an exposed spine. Very weird. Looks like this is almost like a face jutting out here. It's like strapped to this dude's face. Love the big old guns here. I don't know what the heck's going on here, but nothing good, I can tell you that much. All right, let's go on into the next one now. All right, next up we have the Luminary Monks. I'm excited for this. Just sounds cool. Luminary Monks. That's what the world needs, more luminous monks. All right. Open her up here. Again, notice the different color here. Almost like a little bit of a teal here, right? Almost. Not quite a teal. Okay. Yeah, whatever. Move this aside, move this aside. Okay. Let's see. Quite a few cards here. And then the normal amount for the looks of it. Okay. We got quite a few of these guys. Which I like these guys because they look like plants, so they're very different from a lot of everything else you see. And then we do have them where they're kind of high like this, right? On like this little stem. The detail here on this side and in the front here aren't as good as I would like. Like I like all of this. I think all that looks great. Love the twistiness here. Here just gets a little small where that mold line is. And a lot of times where the mold line is, you do see some deterioration of quality like that. I like these spikes coming out. That's super cool. And then, of course, again, the flower thing. Kind of looks like a little bit of a flamingo. Which would be sweet to paint them like that, too. All right. Then we have this character here who came out wonderful. I love it. Again, a little bit of a base thing here. Love that she's on one foot there. The foot looks like it blends in a little bit to this, like it's a little bit muddy. Just a little unfortunate. And then a little bit of a mold line here, not too bad. The separation between the leg and this cloth here is actually sufficient. I'm okay with that. The hands, the fingers came out wonderfully, actually. And then this looks slightly bent. I don't know if it's supposed to be or not, but either way, tubes here look great. I do appreciate that. And then this, just the whole, like almost halo around her like that. It's just super cool. And I think this is supposed to be a little more straight like that. She's cool, though. I dig her a lot. All right, we got one big expansion and then all the stretch goals, and that's it. So let's dive in. All right, we got the big boss expansion here. So this is going to be exciting. Go ahead and open her up. I'm actually really excited for this one. Oh, just a freaking cool symbol. Like, this looks like a freaking metal album name, right? When they write their name in barely legible spiky letters, Come on. Oh man, see this. There we go. If it wasn't just the whole parchment box, I've never been a fan of. Oh my gosh. I'm just trying to open it. When the plastic wrap can damage the box, I feel like the box isn't much of a box. Alright. Yeah, much bigger. Okay. So there is the boss here. Comes with its own mission by the looks of it. So you get your own little mission for him. Looks super cool. And then, then this is all hollow here, right? So this is one of those boxes you can condense or put stuff into. And oh dear Lord. Okay, let's start. All right. I'm gonna actually zoom out a little bit here. So the head is down here. This is the head. Look at that. Look at the teeth on this. That's freaking sweet. I love this. Mouth open, weird, elongated nose, like some Slipknot character. Love the scales we got going on here. It's almost like a fish, right? It's got these yeah, look at this. It's got the little flippers. It's got a little bit of a tail, and then it's got all the swooshing, swirling bit around it with these buildings. Notice these are buildings. So this thing is giant. These are like skyscrapers. These are like big apartment complexes and stuff. There's buildings in here. And then, so this thing's head is like the size of a city block, right? If that makes sense. Maybe even larger. So a massive thing. I love that it comes off the base like that. I love that it's all towards the back here. Is that a freaking airplane? Is that an airplane? I think it's a freaking airplane. That's awesome. Very rudimentary airplane. You'll have to paint on the details there, but that's hilarious. And then it kind of goes low like this. It's almost like it's slithering through the ground, which is super cool. Just a cool mini. I love this. I'm excited to see the rest. So let's go ahead and get to it. All right, guys, this is it. The final one. You can see you got a whole bunch of bosses. You got the Citadel. This is what we've all been waiting for. The Kickstarter stuff. I.e. all the cool stuff. No, this has been cool. Every single box has had cool stuff in it. To me, it's actually been quite good. A little bit of soft details here and there, but honestly, for the style they're trying to do and artistically, I think it does a really good job. I love the color of this, by the way. It's not what I expected because it is quite bright. So it does have, again, these flaps that are going to ruin over time. You can see they're already kind of jacked up a little bit. And that's unfortunate. I dislike boxes like this. It's because there's no real great way to preserve them, I feel. Let's just open one side here. All right. Let's start small and go big, huh? How about that? Whoop. Okay, so again, it's got those little thumb things, which are super nice. It has a whole tray here. That's kind of cool. But let's take one and zoom in. These little guys are great. I love these, little shadow guys. These are a lot of what you're going to be fighting Yeah, it looks super cool. Again, exposed spine, very interesting. And then otherwise, this is actually supposed to be this way. It's like going into the base. It's supposed to be like almost coming out of the ground. And I think it looks super cool. Love all the different, just the different ripples and tendrils and whatnot. And that some are like a little out of order. I appreciate that. It definitely adds to it. And then the facial structure looks super cool too. This one I was curious with on how secure it would be. They did thicken this up. They did thicken this up quite a bit, which I think looks good. This coming up is great as well. The wings look cool. It's kind of like a little moth thing, right? And then some of these connecting those two. I think it's a little too symmetrical, and that there's 3 and 3 and they're fairly evenly spaced. I think I would have liked to see it a little bit less symmetrical, perhaps, personally. But overall, it's fine. And again, it's just made out of all these different shadows with a little bit of a facial structure, like a skull-looking kind of stuff going on there. And then for the last little small one, we got these guys. Super cool. Really like this one. I love the like wrapped part here. That looks super cool. Love the little tiny ones here. The extra one going super out here. Again, the facial structure stuff looks cool. I really like these. And they have cool hair. Alright, so then it looks like we got... Oh man, where to start? So we got another lid thing here. It's kind of cool. Little lid here. Let's start with some of the smaller guys here. Here's a little robot dude. Love his little hands. Love his little look. I love that his head is coming straight out and lower. It makes him look kind of in a fun way. I do appreciate that. Yeah, all the details look good. Yeah, I like this will show up great. Again, fingers looked good. No real obvious mold lines. This is quite nice, actually. I do get 2 of those. 3 of those. You get this guy here. Ooh, he's like spiky. My goodness. He looks freaking sweet. Again, I love the face. Love the sword thing that he's got going on here. Love all the different, the fact that it's wrapped this way, but then also wrapped this way is super cool. You know, who knows what it's like wrapping into him. This looks like a helmet of some kind. It might be like a mine. I don't know. I love that it's like he's coming out of the ground like that. Just a gross looking cool dude. Love that even the gun. See, he doesn't have arms or hands. Instead, it's like wrapped itself around the gun. And so I'm like, this gun is now mine. Okay, let's do the Citadel, and then we'll look at the rest. So this is the first part of the Citadel. It looks like it comes pretty much attached, but you can detach it too. So you can kind of snap it in there. It doesn't look like it necessarily snaps. It does look like ABS plastic. That's why it's so shiny like that as well. But yeah, that looks good. That looks good. We're gonna zoom out a little bit here. Okay, the next comes these parts here that you just kind of slot around the side here like this, I believe. Already looking cool. Looking cool. Is that correct? We will see. Okay, and then this looks like it goes in right there. So that locks it in right there, that little bit there. And then we have these, but I think it needs a platform, I would think. Yes. Okay, oh man, there's a lot of pieces here to this. Okay. Alright, hold on. Here we go. So now this, I believe, goes upside down. Like this. But I want to say it does. Yes. And now I think we have pieces like this, I want to say. I don't know. I'm trying to figure it out. I want to say it goes like that. But then we got a piece here as well. That looks like it goes in the middle. Maybe instead of this, you do this. I'm not sure. I want to feel like there's another layer, but I don't necessarily see another thing unless these middle pieces here form something. Which is, I think, possible, perhaps. Because, yeah, see, there's this little bit here that locks in. I wonder if that just goes in like Oh, on top? I'm not sure. I'm not sure. I want to know, but I don't. It does do these form and go in like that. I don't think so, but maybe. Either way, I think it goes kind of like this, which is super freaking sweet. That's what it is. Super freaking sweet. Somehow. Anyway, I think that's awesome. And I mean, the detail here looks super cool. Super cool. Let's just take one. Like, let's take this one here in this sector here. See, there's like a little pyramid thing here, some round ones, some little tiny ones here, and these kind of interesting pieces here. Whereas then you get like this one that has like this almost like tower church kind of thing entrance here, and some more pipes and stuff, and round ones here and whatnot. So they're all very different. Right here you have a whole bunch of like these little skyscrapers like this, right? Very tall buildings here. Just all sorts of different little things to look at. Look at the shape of this building here. Like little trees and stuff by the looks of it even. So very, very cool. All of that's awesome. Let's look at some of the big old bosses now. We're going to start with the smaller big bosses. If there is such a thing. This thing's freaking sweet. Okay, so we got like these giant people like hooked into it. I don't know if they're actual people or not. And maybe they're not giant. I mean, maybe this isn't that big. Looks like that's probably the head. I love that it has these like raised up bits here. I love that they're all separate. They're not really like attached to there at all. Instead, it's connected right here. It is kind of interesting that it's like right above this, and the bubbles or whatever these things are didn't go through here either. So it is a very obvious separation. I would have liked to see that texture continue down just to blend it a little bit. These look so gross though. Nasty. It's got like these skull things and this. Oh man, grody. All right, then we got this one. This is interesting. It's kind of like a oh gosh, I can't even think of the name right now. But you know, one of the little fish that have the little dangly bits. So this chick is not to be trusted, I feel. I don't think she's to be trusted at all. There's a whole bunch of hands here and like a feet here too. Like it's already grabbing somebody and they're already looking for the next victim. Very gross. All this texture here is just disgusting. I love it. All these little tiny bits that are coming out on the back here. All these little tendrils, big ones, small ones, looping around everywhere. Freaking gross. That's what I'm saying. I mean, it just, there's some nastiness here. There is a little bit of technology still there as well. Oh man, no thank you. This thing here is like, again, part of like a drone. So I'm guessing this is actually smaller scale, because I thought this was like super huge, but it's like wrapped itself around this, and it's not forming like a back part of its belly here. But notice all these fins here. Like there's more airplane things going on here. And then the skull going on here. And then the bottom part here. Down here is textured. I do appreciate all that. It's almost more muscular here. Do you see that? As like, instead of just the tendrils, it almost looks like muscle. And a little tiny tail thing going on too. And again, the base looks great. I love that it just kind of molds out of it, right? As opposed to like, it's supposed to just be almost one with the base. Here's the last of the small ones. This thing is quite flat here, but it looks freaking sweet. So there's a person there. He's not doing so well. There's a person there. She's not doing so well. There's a whole bunch of people here. Again, not doing so well. They are not. Nobody is enjoying this ride. Another person there. All these bits are like dangling off of him. He does have like these weird hand things. And again, that face looks super cool. Almost like a crown. What he's wearing there is kind of interesting. I don't even know what's going on in the back here. But yeah, it's picking up a whole bunch of different little souvenirs by the looks of it. As he's like sucking people up. All right, let's go. This is the one I showed. So I'm going to start with this one. This is the big one I got. Oh man, get in this out. Ugh. Okay. And they did change this. I'll tell you that much right now. This is a little bit different. As you can see, it's like it came out of underneath the ground here. So you can see a little bit of building still here. So again, this guy's massive, a little bit of blackness. I think that's actually from the tray. Huge. This is like these things, right? So like This thing is monstrous. Awesome texture on the bottom. And then you can see part of the earth that came up with him. So he was underneath this. So civilization built this stuff here. And he's like, bloop, right out of the ground. Very cool. I love how none of these are like really attached. That I think helps sell it a little bit too. That he's just kind of floating here with this blackness coming up there. Inside the mouth is not really textured. It's a slight bit. But not really. That being said, mouth is used loosely here. I don't think it's like a true mouth, if that makes sense. And I always felt like this is like, it looks like a little person, right? Like with his arms out and his head. Okay. Then there is, let's see, do I want to do this one or do I want to do this one? I think I will do this one next. This one is super freaking cool. So it has all these hands, all these arms coming out. It's almost like, because this is what makes the world so cool. It almost seems like the shadows are like trying to mimic people, right? Do you get what I'm saying there? It's almost like they're like trying to figure out how to be a person. Like, why else would it grow these arms and hands and stuff? But then it has all these faces and all this like gunk coming out of them, either through a nose or an eye or something like that. Just really cool, all the different rock and stuff. These are buildings here, so again, this thing is gigantic, and it's got like this like weird, I don't know, these faces are just strange, right? There's this teeth coming out of these ones here and stuff, and then even its head, like, so if this is its head, see this like back part here? It's like very alien-esque, right? It just, how it just comes out there. Looks like there's a little bit of softness here, whereas I think everything else seems to be pretty strong. A little bit of softness right here. But overall, the assembly looks good. Detail-wise is nice. Again, the scale thing you're just going to have to kind of deal with. You can't make a mini that gigantic without making your people, 2mm. And that's just silly. There's some more buildings here. Painted up, this will help a lot, I think, because you'll be able to point out a lot of these different things. Like there's a little bit of a face here and here. But it's kind of hard to see that. But these is like, I love how these arms are like coming from inside. Like, I don't know. Oh man, it's just weird. Final mini. Look at the baby in there. Okay, this is such a cool and unique mini. So this was one of the things where, again, they had to kind of combine these, right? Because I think the original one had like a whole bunch of like individual ones. I like this actually more. It looks kind of wispy to me, which I appreciate. I love the separation there. Again, love the little bit of tech here, like all the different buildings and stuff like that. I love the big chunks of earth that this is. I think that's super cool. Love that it's cracked like that. I believe that's on purpose. Yes. So it's like cracked open. And then you have this weird baby wrapped thing in here with this weird mask. And then it's like a weird flower ready to bloom. And it's just weird. Like all of it is just weird. In such a cool way. What a cool, unique mini. There's nothing else like this. Well, guys, that is Sheol. That is everything. That is a ton of stuff. Let me know what you thought. What do you think of the style? Do you think you could paint this quick? Do you think it'd take longer to paint? I would love to hear your thoughts, or if you have any ideas on how to bump up that glow to make it seem all glowing. I think that'll be super cool. Okay, welcome to the summary portion of this video. I want to start doing this on every one of my unboxings so I can just kind of talk about what we just saw. So if you just skip to this, well then what you would have saw if you had watched the whole video. This is something that's kind of important. First of all, I noticed this. I didn't notice this before, but this is the Citadel, and then there's like this like entity below it. Super cool. Dig that. This is the deluxe box here. I have made the box smaller. I went and punched everything out, and now this is the all-in, and these 3 boxes here. I got rid of those 3 smaller boxes. This fits quite a bit, and then there's 1 tray in here. This is normal. So it actually fits pretty good. Now, one of the things I did notice when I tried to put it on my Calyx shelf is this does not fit on a Calyx, because a Calyx is 13 inches by 13 inches. If that you want the metric system, you're going to have to do some math. I don't know what the heck that is. I can't be bothered. I barely know what inches are. They're about that big, right? Anyway. This is like 13.2 by 13.5 or whatever. It won't fit on there. It's got to go all the way up there. That's where it's got to live, which is kind of a bummer. Yeah, I mean, it is what it is, I guess, but kind of annoying. Shifting gears from that, though, it is amazing to me that a company barely funded. This was in the age where you didn't just cancel at the end, right? They had a realistic goal. They barely made the goal. Like, I swear, I think it was like the last day they funded. I mean, they eked by. This is as indie, as low funded as you would think you can get. And yet here it is. This is it. This is the real deal, guys. This is actually there. And it's a better quality than I got from Come On. It's a better quality than I got from half these games. The minis beat Monolith minis. They're very good. They're very straight. They're well proportioned. They're well designed. They're smart. The insert actually works. You can fit things in there. There's tons of organization. Thick inserts with these, like, it's all black and it's really thick. There's no crinkly parts. Everything's got a lid, stylized lid in there. I mean, they got the core box that's so packed full of organization stuff that I could put 3 other expansions inside of the freaking thing. All the rulebook or spiral bound. It's a premium quality product. And it didn't make $1 million. It didn't make $2 million or $9 million or whatever millions of dollars you think you need to make these games. So often we hear, oh, it's expensive. Oh, it's this. Oh, it's that. Oh, and I have 7 artists working on this. Oh, and, you know, we have 2 community outreach people. And, oh, we have this and we have that. And as long as you're frugal, and as long as you're not aiming for a humongous paycheck yourself, you can do it. Now, did they make money on this? I doubt it. Do they need to make money? Yes. But they came through with their promises. They made a game that is super high quality, super unique, thematically different than anything else I have ever seen. Nonetheless, played in the board game space. And they did it because of Kickstarter, because they were actually able, as an indie developer, to fund a vision and make it and start their company on something hopefully bigger and greater as time goes on, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing. What I don't want to see grow is the personnel size a whole bunch, right? I don't think they need a 40-man team yet, right? I don't think they need all this and that and all these different artists and full-time sculptors and all this different stuff that you think you need to be able to make a game, a quality game that's beautiful to interact with, that looks great on a shelf, even if it's all the way up there. And you didn't have to cancel at, almost $1 million or feel like you didn't make enough or anything like that. It's possible, guys. It's a shipping issue, but I really wanted to point that out. I think that's my biggest takeaway here. Everything is pretty. It's not the biggest and best thing ever. There are companies out there making games that are more premium than this, but honestly, this is above average. This is good quality stuff, and it's made for such a low amount compared to everybody else. It kind of beats them at their own game. If you could make this with this much funding, how much could you make with something even better? I would love to know. And if you did make a lot more funding than this, then why aren't you making something at least this quality? Why are your minis crappy if you can't? I mean, like, what kind of business are you running that's so inefficient? Or how much are you paying yourself to where you can't make something the quality that these guys made? These guys knocked it out of the park. So I didn't mean this to be about other companies. I'm so impressed when a company like Oko Chronicles, the Red Joker does this all the time, where they don't fund a whole lot of money, and yet the game is just like, it's a quality game, and it's well made, and it's beautiful, and the components are high quality. And then I get a game from some, huge company, and I can like peel apart the cardboard, and the minis are all melted, and it's like, what the heck's going on? Support more games like this. That's what I hope to be doing too. I'll continue to show these on my channel so that you guys know when cool crap like this is available. And while everybody else is funding that, multi-million-dollar, second development team of 40, people are making, all that kind of junk, you can go and give these guys a pledge or somebody just like them and actually support creators that are wanting to make a quality product for us at a good price. All right, that's it. That's all I had. That's kind of my thoughts. I'll look through it all and I'll try and give a final review. I do have a previous review out. It was for the prototype. A lot has changed since, and you can check it out if you want. Give you kind of a sense of a lot of it, but just know that it's been iterated on since then. They definitely were very open to feedback. And just kind of kept working on the game as, you know, closures happened, delays happened, and they had issues and all that stuff. They just kept on trucking. And so, yeah, I'll take a look at what the final product is and let you guys know. Guys, thank you so much for watching this unboxing. I hope you did enjoy it if you did watch it, or enjoyed my summary if you just skipped to this part. It was kind of like one of my normal videos, I guess, for this time. But I'll be doing this in the future, and I'll try to focus more on the actual game components, stuff like that. It's just, I'm just freaking darn impressed. And also sad it's going to live up there, but whatever. All right, take care, guys. Bye.